Now we're going to see about the MVC. MVC means a model and view and model view and controller. First of all, we can see the architecture of the MVC. First component is a modeler, controller, and then modeler, and then viewer. First the client request to the controller. The controller is the first response for the request, and then it's request into the modeler. In modeler, it can in models it is a server. Model is like a service layer. It gives the information for the particular request, and then you can also use the jobs. POJO means plain old text files. It holds some data for the request data, and then it back sent to the viewer. The viewer collect the information the handler, and then it's finally sent back to the response as the response to the client. This is how the MVC work out. There are some then we want to see about the Spring MVC 3. In that so many iterations there. First one, the controller controller can be used at the class level. It will see a Spring framework that the mock class act as a controller. Then a request handling. In request handling, the maps the particular URL for the method request called. Then it can be used in the method as well as the class level. There are some arguments in the request mapping. URL means we can invoke the particular URL. Then a HTTP request, in that we can get the request by using the HTTP method like get and post and delete and trace. And then the parameters. Para means we can is used to check is request parameters matches with the values and also check the conditions. And then header, it also used to check the request header and it matches the with the values the requested by the client. Then is the most important annotation is path variable. It also used as the method parameter. It used to method the values should be obtained from the values. Then we can move to the request param. It used to request the parameter. It is used to the request parameter level. It used to check for the parameter in the request and assign the value for the method arguments. Then request handler, this method used to request the request from the client. Then important of the methods in MVC, there is a model. Model means the maps which the object has a key value pair, and then is used by the controller to bind some values that the used by the view. Then used by the view to write the form values to the get objects, and also used to write read the values from the object to display on the page. Then we move to the method of model viewer, which can be used to add the values that the object can be viewed by the viewers. It also gives the information to the framework obtained by the viewer that need to be invoked. Then used as a return type to the handler methods. Then some are methods the method attributes directly access the data from the model and used to control methods. Then some other methods there, attributes there, method attributes, request parameter, request header, request variable, cookie value, errors, binding request, and so on. Return time should be string, and also void return the model viewer, then model viewer, model and viewer, and then string set, and then set view names, null, etc. And then we can see the advantage of the MVC. MVC supports RESTful URLs, and also its annotation is based on the configurations. It supports used to play with the MVC framework and also structs, etc. It flexible support in view type, then like JSP, the Veracity, and etc. and so on. Then we're going to see about the request handler. First, how the request flows involves first dispatcher servlet. This is first component in the MVC. Then it's capture the request relay, and then it's request to the multiple paths and upload the data expressions, and then find out the handler mapping. This is a map the URLs and then request parameters, and then it's given back to the handler mapping. Handler mapping involves it handle the request is sent by the client, and finally it's given to the viewer. Viewer's response for the get information the model viewer, and then finally it's given to the preview viewer. Then finally the response sent back to the client. This is how the get back. Then we're going to how to initialize the dispatcher servlet means first multipath resolver, and then record resolver, then theme resolver, analyzer, and so on. Then we can move to the AOP. AOP means aspect oriented programming. It is used to add the effects to the classes without changing the original class method. And then I'm going to see about the struct. Before going to struct, we have to understand the best good knowledge in servlet, JSP, and JSTL filters. How is the framework speaker means framework it's most important struct. It means task of applications. The framework mainly used for architectural solutions. It give the design pattern and also some features like dispatcher, and then front controller patterns. There are design pattern in the framework. One is design pattern, then front controller pattern, then command control pattern. The front controller is the most important in the MVC. This is used to handle the request from the client. Then command pattern is used to communicate the information with other MVC. So this is about the MVC. Thank you for that. Thank you.